One of my favorite shows I like to watch on TV is called Undrafted. And it's a show about these football players who weren't quite good enough to get drafted, yet they get a second chance to try out for the NFL. So it walks through their daily lives and kind of chronicles their mental and physical preparation to get another shot with the NFL scouts. And so when they show up, they have all these different agility drills they have to go through, all these mental tests, all these strength and conditioning tests. But one thing the scouts really harp on is they look at the 40-yard dash time. And so they were talking to one of these athletes right before he did his 40, and they said, what's the key in having a good 40-yard time? And they said, is it your technique? Is it all the training that goes into it? He said, sure, all that is very important. He said, but the key to having a good 40 time is in your start. He said, because I know this, if I start well, I can build my speed as I go through the test. And so we're not running 40-yard dashes anymore as salespeople. What we're running 23s. You have 23 days to make a month. But one thing you have to understand is you have plenty of time in a month, yet you don't have a second to waste. And so what I want to talk about this morning are 3 key components to having a successful start to your month, because if you have a good start, you can build your way through and have a successful close to the month. The first key component of having a great month is I want you to put unrelenting pressure on yourself for the next 7 days. Now, who can't do anything for 7 days? And here's what I mean by that. Is what I want you to understand is this: for the next 7 days, whatever you normally do, I want you to even double or triple it. And so if you're used to catching 1 up a day, I want you to catch 2 or 3. I want you to be a maniacal about every customer that you grab. I want you to, as soon as you get out of the morning meetings, I want you to be the first one to grab a customer. I want you in front of service customers as fast as possible, striking up a conversation. Some of those may lead to a lead. Some of those may be something that you can develop a relationship as time goes on. I want you to be maniacal just for the next 7 days. I want you to be maniacal about calling every single customer, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. Call every single one of them. Be maniacal about these things. And the reason why I say is 7 days is this, is because you got to trick your mind. And so if you look at it only for 7 days, what's going to happen is this, is you're going to let yourself off the hook and say, okay, well, the pressure doesn't really mean that much. The rejection doesn't mean that much, because I can just do this for the next 7 days. And then after that, I can go back to my normal self. But what's going to happen is this: you're going to train yourself to have a new normal in these next 7 days. And so while you're amassing these rejections, what's going to happen is as you're doubling your rejection rate, you're going to also see a highly successful rate of return also, and you're going to start seeing some confidence build. You're going to have new experiences in the form of training, and then also you're going to see the result in some sales. So you're going to have a powerful 7 days that's going to catapult you and slingshot you through the rest of the month. And like I said, you're going to have a new normal, so you'll adopt a new attitude, a new way of thinking, because you're going to see that it's going to work. The second thing that I want you to do is I want you, this comes in the form of a question. Do you know what you're talking about? No, seriously, do you know what you're talking about? Think about this for a second. If you walk up to somebody who just lost a bunch of weight and you said, man, how'd you do that? You're going to see them explode into euphoria and tell you what they're doing. They're training for a marathon. They're doing all these ultra mudders, all these kind of different things, the obstacles they had to overcome, the times that it took, they had to get up early in the morning, all these kind of different things. They're talking about productive things. If you walked up to Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or the guy from Virgin Atlantic, Richard Branson, if you walked up to any of these guys, they're not going to talk about, they don't have limited speech. They're not going to talk about what's wrong with everything. They're going to talk about the possibilities that exist, the challenges that they face. Walk up to Jeff Bezos from Amazon and ask him, just let him talk. And what's going to happen is you're going to see that he's going to talk about the possibilities. And in the same fashion, that's what you got to do. You got to be talking deals, man. You got to be talking about, hey, when I get hit with this objection, how do you overcome this? Another thing that you could do is what options can I give? What other options can I give this customer that just left? What's some other options? Another thing you can do is you walk up to your sales manager or to a mentor and say, what could I have done different? See, when you ask that question, be open to receive it though. So many people want to know what they want to know what they could have done different, but all they're doing is they're waiting for a chance to defend themselves. Be open, be vulnerable. Your growth comes from the vulnerability. So know what you're talking about. The only thing I want you talking about is I want you talking deals. I want you talking production. And last but not least, the third key component in having a successful start and finish to your month is LIG. Let it go. Good, bad, ugly, whatever, let it go. I love what John McAfee said. John McAfee is the guy who invented the McAfee virus, I guess the thing that, or antivirus that protects your computers. I recently heard him say this. He said, there's no such thing as yesterdays, and there's no such thing as tomorrows. He said, because think about this. Have you ever seen a tomorrow? Because when tomorrow comes, he said, it's called today. And he said, what about yesterdays? What happened to all those yesterdays? What'd you do with them all? He said, life's too short to worry about the yesterdays, and it's too short to worry about the tomorrows. The most important thing you have to worry about right now and focus on right now is being present. It's called present for a reason. Be present in everything that you actually do. And so what that focus is you got to let these things go. If you were skated on a deal, let it go. If a deal didn't go your way, let it go. If you did all the work for some other salesperson and they bought somewhere else, let it go. What you have to do, the only thing I give you permission to hold on to are when you have a trial is to find the lessons learned in those different things. So find the lesson in everything. What could you have done differently? Not how could the customer have done differently. Not I should have, shoulda, woulda, coulda type aspects for revenge, but it's more so what's the lesson? Find the lesson in those things, and the rest of it, that's 10%. The rest of it, man, let it go. I've seen so many times where things don't go according to plan for a salesperson, and they will scrap a 10-year sales record. They'll just scrap it. They've been at the store for 10 years. They say, you know what, I'm out of here. Let it go. Let it go. So that's 3 key components in having a successful start to your month. Put unrelenting pressure on yourself for the next 7 days. Know what you're talking about. And last but not least, let it go. Until next time, I'm Marsh, and I'll see you on the blacktop.